managers in business. If you're looking to grow your business, contact mybusinessgroup.co.uk today for more information, or follow the link in the description below. And as this is 90 after 90, I want to thank our sponsors, Cosmetic Repair Solutions, an independent award-winning network of vehicle accident repair centres located in Chesterfield, Rotherham, Dinnington, Barnsley and Derby. Get an estimate at cosmeticrepair.co.uk.
Now then, Blades, follow and subscribe to Blades Ramble.
Welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is 90 after 90. Up to 90 minutes after the 90 minutes beforehand. So, we lost to Coventry last night. We lost at home to Cov after going 1-0 up. First thing I have to say, I thought we played well. I thought Coventry played well. They are a good side. It's frustrating because I do think they are beatable, and I think had our mindset been different and maybe a couple of things had fallen for us, then it could have been a different result. It wasn't, and that appears to be the story of our season, really. And the question we're asking tonight is that us done? And, you can be as straight to the point with that, or you can elaborate on it if you want. I tend to think now that might be us done, if I'm honest. There's 12 games to go, so undoubtedly there's time to turn it around. But I just think if we were 9 points off and we were in 8th, then I might hold on to some hope. But we're down in 16th, and there comes a point where you just have to say, I think we played 34 games and lost 17. Is that losing exactly half of our games? It's something like that anyway. I'd need to double check. It's been a really disappointing season overall, I would say. Killed by the start. Absolutely annihilated by the start, if we're honest. And it's disappointing because it feels like it was there for the taking. It's also disappointing because you look at our squad, and I genuinely think it's a top 4 squad in this league. And I think you put us up against most teams and we'll certainly give them a game like we did Cov and Borough recently. And we'll beat some of them, some of the better teams in the league, like we did Ipswich. And we'll perform like we did against Stoke and Leicester and really sort of deserve and go out and earn our stripes. And it's a team that we can be proud of. Chris Wilder, I believe, has turned us around. I certainly believe he's the right man to lead us forward. I have to also say, I had a very late night last night. We were in the hotel until late after the game. And we had a really interesting and fair debate with a lad called Liam. Shout out to Liam. I'm going to give you a shout out, pal, because I thought you were very measured and reasoned in why you had your doubts about Chris Wilder. You certainly weren't calling for him out because he's been very good. But I think you put together a really articulate sort of list of concerns, really, in terms of not being able to beat the top sides in the league. And, when really push comes to shove, how many games has he had compared to Ruben Sayers? I understood it all. Everybody knows on here I'm a huge Chris Wilder fan and I'll always back him to the hilt. I think, obviously, the most important thing is that we're progressing as a club and winning games, essentially. But I do think there's more to the feeling as a fan and what you want to be a part of, and I think he makes us a part of. He makes the connection deeper to the club, in my opinion. But Liam, as we said, welcome to come on anytime, pal, and have a chat with us about it, because I thought it were a really interesting conversation. And this is, for those that are new here, this is where we try and have an open platform for you to voice your opinions about our club without judgment, without anybody coming on and saying you're talking absolute rubbish, because an opinion's not wrong. I might think it is, but ultimately it's how you perceive something to be. So, get involved in the chat if you're comfortable doing so, and if not, just sit back and listen to what other people have to say tonight and see if you agree or disagree. But I thought we did okay last night. I think the overall, the feeling from me was, I think we're a little bit soft. I think Chris Wilder used the word naive. I think that's probably about right. I don't think we've got a lot of nous in the squad. And I don't mean that in terms of the players are daft. I just mean inexperience. And their game management was so much better than ours. We went in front and immediately we invited pressure. It was like we were too excited. We were a bit nervy, and because we weren't expecting to do it, we didn't believe in ourselves. Coventry then equalised and went in front and just killed the game dead. Just absolutely put a pin in everything. And they're going to ride that momentum, and they're going to have that confidence as a side because they're doing so well, and they're there on merit. They're a good side. I think Radoni had a very good game. But yeah, it feels now to me, and this is just my opinion, that it's one of those seasons. One of those. And I don't mean to sort of be defeatist by writing us off completely for this season, but that is certainly how I'm going to have it in my mind going forward. I obviously want to go to QPR and I want to get all 3 points because I want to push this to the absolute limits of where we can go this season. And don't forget, every place you finish higher, there's a monetary reward for that in the league. I don't know how much the differentials are. We'll try and find out, but even if it's 200 grand more, if you finish say it's 200 grand, you finish 5 places above where we are now. That's £1 million, and that might be the difference between extending Gyro for another year, for example. So there's always something to play for, whether you just put it down to pride or not. But I think we can have half an eye on how we look next season, and as part of that, we'll be looking at the squad and who needs to go out. It's maybe a touch early for that, but maybe come the next international break, that might be something that we're talking about. So yeah, last night I could go through the team. In fact, I think we've got the teams here just to go through how we lined up. That man there, by the way, outstanding. Sidney Peck, I thought was probably the best player on the pitch. I thought it was superb last night. So we started in our now regular 4-2-3-1 formation. Sariki at right back, and it was Tanganga and Bindon as centre halves with Harrison Burrows, who was awarded the man of the match for the second game in a row. Harrison Burrows lines up at left back. In the middle, it was Peck and Samari. Gyro was on the bench, as you may not be able to see because it's very small writing, but I was really looking forward to seeing Gyro return. I was really hopeful of Gyro returning. Just because of what Chris had said in the presser. And you never know, we always say this with the press conferences, you never know how seriously to take Chris Wilder's press conferences because he tells us what he would want the opposition to know, if you like. Because that's how he has to play it. But Gyro was available for this fixture, was the narrative. And he was, but apparently only available to do 20 minutes. Samari started, and I thought it was very good for the first half hour. I have to say, very, very good. And then he just seemed to drop from there. And I was really disappointed with the drop-off because it gives you so much, like, oh my word, where has this been? Because we've seen it before from Samari in patches. There's definitely a player in there. But then he'll do something else where you think he's just not got a football brain. He doesn't drop into the right positions. He's got, when we're talking about nous and being streetwise, he's none of that. And that's a shame because, and I hope he develops that later in his career because he's got the ability to really become a good player, I believe, because we've seen it in patches. But again, I thought it really sort of dropped after about half an hour. I thought Sidney Peck was very, very good. Then Andre Brooks on the right. Gus Hamer on the left, who I thought had a very stop-start game. He threatened with some decent efforts, I have to say. He always looked a threat when he's shooting from outside the box, but I'm not sure if... Somebody said to us last night, and I can't remember who it was, so apologies, but I think he does. Might have been Batman Lou. He slows us down a little bit, I think, sometimes. Might have been Man Mountain. He slows us down certainly when we're doing that quick transitional break and trying to catch teams. Callum O'Hare in the 10, who ran his socks off, but I just feel like he's not running out of steam, but he's not quite had the same impact over the last few games that he was having for the vast majority of the season. Maybe he needs a rest. And I also thought Patrick Bamford, the Ramble's own, Bamford is a rambler. I thought he had a quiet game yesterday, but they did a good job on him. So, second best, unfortunately. I thought we played very well, and I thought it should have been a lot more in the first half. But the same old story. The difference was, it's only... When you're talking about two good teams in the division, and as I say, I do believe we are a very good team in the division, it's fine margins, and things like confidence and belief and desire, I have to say, make the difference. They were throwing bodies in front of our shots. I think my dad said there were 9 blocks in the first half, something like that, from our shots. They were absolutely chucking themselves in front of it. Just real commitment for the cause. And, on another day, they don't make one of those blocks, and we maybe score early on, and we maybe go in 1-0 at half-time, and then we go to 2-0 after half-time, and it's a different story. But they're a good team, and they deserved the result yesterday. Fair play to them. Like we said about Borough, I thought Borough were better at Bramall Lane, but Coventry were very professional yesterday, I thought, as well. So I think they'll both go up, and more power to them, really. So yeah, disappointing from a Blades perspective. As I say, I don't want to dwell too much on, it being a negative thing, really. But I just think we've got to recalibrate our expectations. And for those of us like myself that were still hanging on to any hopes of playoffs, and there will still be Blades out there that are, and that's absolutely fine. I just don't want you to have a harsh slam back to reality when my head has already recalibrated that we are going to be a championship side next season. The one thing I will say is I don't think it'll be as catastrophic as some people are fearing. Losing the parachute payments is a big blow. I understand that. We will lose 1 or 2 players. That's inevitable. But I also think there's a lot of good talent to work with in this squad. We were saying the other day, there was whatever side it was that lined up. Let's just go to last night's, for example. In this side, there's Bindon and Samari that are on loan. The rest are our players. So that's Cooper, Tanganga, Hamer, O'Hare, Brooks, Burrows, Sariki and Peck and Bamford. All our players. All our players. So you lose 2 of them. You've still got a very good nucleus of a squad. Then you've got others that come in like Blaster, really strong player. Riedeveld, you can extend him if you want to have that option. I think there's a really strong base here. Really strong base. So, yeah, we can get into it tonight. I've got some callers waiting. Thank you for those that are on the line, and I'll get to you as soon as I can. I normally jump into the comments first, but as part of that conversation last night that we were having with Liam, it were a case of why have we, and I think this is a viable question, why have we spent the money on Calvin Phillips? I think people were asking that at the time. It's a loan, and I appreciate we might have a favourable percentage, but that still will be 30 grand a week minimum, I would have thought. Some people are now saying, and I think it's easy to say in hindsight, but we were far off to begin with, why make that signing when it's essentially dead money? But again, if he helps us climb 2 or 3 places, does that make it worthwhile? I also personally think that it raises the level and the profile of Sheffield United, or maintains a certain level of profile that we can attract the type of players like Calvin Phillips. But other people might be watching it and saying, we shouldn't have done it, really. We should have saved the money and pocketed it. We certainly don't need another midfielder. And now we're going to miss him for the next 3 games. But again, hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it? So let's jump into the comments first and foremost. Jamie Dumpling starts us off tonight. Evening, Jimmy. This will be live at 4 a.m. for me, so I'm not going to catch it live, but not mad at the result at all. We probably should have got a point, but played well against the top of the league. This is someone that CW mentioned in an interview that... did someone say that CW mentioned in an interview that next season will be better 100%? Remember the last time he said that? It was the most recent Prem season after Newcastle away, and he was spot on. Steve Rosen also sounds very positive, and good to hear him finally at the fan zone and with a certain someone. Apologies for the long comment. All the best. Also won the pub quiz on my own. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, like and subscribe. Thank you, Jamie. Good to know that Google works down under as well. Yes, a few bits to digest there. Wilder did say we're not quite there this season. It's not quite been good enough, but we will be good enough next season, 100%. I completely agree. Again, I'm confident, and that's a bit of a comfort to me. It also tells me that he's now thinking about next season, which he will have been anyway as a plan B or an alternative. But it's now very unlikely that we make the playoffs. So, Steve Rosen, I'm sure we'll come on to. Phil says, great performance, some poor defending. A definite penalty when Campbell was caught. Not seen it back, to be honest. So we'd have to see it. Gaz Dunn, I believe, the man in black. I don't think he's waiting currently, but if he wants to come on, or if he's about, I think he said they were both the correct decision by the referee. So that'd be some interesting feedback from him on that. Chariot says, not disappointed with the performance at all. Getting more things right than wrong now. Deserved at least a point. Just need to be smarter in the big moments. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Looking at the fixtures, we mirror 5 opponents with Wrexham, plus we have to play them. Do not give up yet. We've done the top 4 now, so every chance of putting a decent run of results together. I love that, Chariots. I don't want to dampen anybody's enthusiasm for that. I would say proceed with caution. But, I'm just giving my opinion of what the situation is. You're more than entitled to yours. Matt says, evening, Jimmy, and also evening, Steve Rosen. Good evening, Mr. Rosen. Nothing wrong with how we played yesterday. In fact, I would say we were the better team. Just lost focus for 10 minutes. Bang, bang, 2-1 down. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. I would say we're now hanging on by a fingernail for the playoffs. We got to go and win at least 11 or 12 games, and that might not even be enough. The good thing is we've got to play the teams above us, so you never know. Keep the faith. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, up the Stephen Rose. I keep the faith in my club. My faith is dwindling, or even has dwindled, on promotion, if that's fair to say, Matt. But understand, you keep riding that wave of positivity, pal. No stopping you from this angle. David says, evening, Jimmy. Thought we deserved a point, but defending for their goals was poor. Up the Ramble, up the Blades, and like and subscribe. Thank you, my mate. Bean says, most frustrated I've been after a game in a while. They were average. The 2 goals were awful. I don't think either of ours were pens, to be fair. Don't know if I'm being harsh, but I think we're soft as a team. Every time we go behind in a game, we lose. Season is done now. Too many points off and too much traffic. Such a missed opportunity. As the league as a whole this year is so average, it's painful. Yeah, you won't get too many disagreeing. He also says, last 2 years, we can't seem to beat any of the top teams in the league, bar Ipswich. Lost to Leeds and Burnley twice last year. And same again this year with Borough and Cov. Another good point that Liam was making last night. Mogga says, probably not a popular statement, but I don't think Tanganga has been a step up from Robinson. That's bait. He hasn't produced any big game performances when needed, and the defence is such a soft touch this season. Thoughts on Tanganga then? Here we go. There's another one here actually from John. Jim, there were 3 people responsible for United's defeat to Cov. 1, Tanganga was at fault for both goals. I'll have to see them back. That's a couple of fingers pointed at Tanganga. Ref missed the two. The ref missed the 2 penalties. Sariki was pushed and pulled. Campbell did get tripped. A slight touch, but enough to trip him at speed. And 3, Wilder. The first half could be a training video on how to press, but that took its toll on the players. He needs to sub much earlier than 73 minutes. The press died in the second half until the subs came on. And then United were back on top at the end. Overall, a good performance, but a bad result. Coventry will be relieved to leave with 3 points. But let's be positive. Anything is possible from now on to the season end. Oh, nice. Okay, love that. I know where I am. I know where I am in the pecking order of the comments. I'm going to try and go to our next caller, but I'm going to try and be smart about it, because I'm going to try and, instead of jiggling it around while I'm talking to you, because I can't multitask, I'm going to try and have a word from our sponsors and then bring them on screen when it's ready. See if we can do it. See you in a minute. Do you want your favourite replica shirts for the World Cup? Check out okjersey.com. It's high quality jerseys starting from just £15. I love mine. From modern day shirts to the old classics that we all love. Use the code RAMBLE at the checkout to get 8% off your order. Get ready for the World Cup in style. And thank you to OK Jersey for their support of the Ramble. Almost did it. Almost did it. We're just about there. I got a spam call in the middle of that, which was really bad timing because it threw me off completely. Let me just do a little bit more jiggling in the background and we'll get our first caller on. And it's the first time for ages that we've spoken to him, actually. So I'm very excited to welcome in Mark from Portland, Oregon. Is that right?
That's right, Jimmy.
Yes. Yes. How's it going,
How
pal?
are you?
Okay? Yes, I'm good, mate. Thank you. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Just, tough loss the other day.
It was a really tough one to take. Do you, look, this question I'm going to be asking everybody now is that us done for the season?
There's just too many games. There's just not enough games. Especially when you look at the points we dropped. You dropped 3 to Charlton, 3 to Southampton, 2 to Millwall, 3 to Millsborough. You're right there. That's 11 points, right?
Yeah.
There's just not enough games. There's not enough games left. That's the unfortunate part of it. So, we'll make a nice run, but I don't. It's just. I mean, it's that 9-point gap we just can't close down. We close it to 6, and then Disney FC wins, and it's back up to 9 again.
I love that. Sounds great coming from an American as well. So, where, in your opinion, Mark, did it start to unravel, or was it always? Were we always on the back foot from the choices we made in the summer?
We start off in the hole. That was the tough thing. Chris lost the summer. You drop your first 5 games under Celis, and then it takes a while for Chris to get his guys in and get things going. But even some of the mistakes that the team makes are just so basic. How many bad passes can Samari make? He's got Hammer open 10 yards from him, and he can't find him.
I know.
He passed to Coventry like 3 or 4 different times. And then Samari is wide open top of the box, and he can't even get it on frame.
I know.
It's just he's not a championship level player. And you look at that last goal, right? You look at that last goal where Tanganga and Bendon, along with 2 of Coventry guys, are on the 6-yard line, and we're not goal side. We're not goal side at all, and they just sneak in between us. It's poor defending, poor man marking defending. I think that our center backs could be better. It's just not good enough. It's just not top championship quality right now.
And that's a really interesting point, because a lot has been made of this now being our. Obviously, Sam McCallum is very unfortunate, but this would now be seen to be our first team defense of Sariki, Tanganga, Bindon, and Burrows, if all apart from McCallum were fit. And I think for most parts, when they've been together, it's been seen to be a good unit, and that's probably the best that we've got to offer at the moment. But what you're saying, and I think there's evidence to back this up, is that they are not top-level championship defenders. And no. That doesn't mean necessarily individually. It might mean that one needs changing, or maybe 2, or it might just need a different combination. But because obviously Tanganga's come in for a lot of money, but some people even tonight are criticising his recent performances. Sariki, has dropped a little bit in recent performances, but he's had a breakout season. Tyler Bindon has had the majority of, certainly a strong second half to the season. And Burrows, I think he's finding his form again. He's just got 2 man of the match in a row. So do you think it's just that we are accepting a certain level at the moment, Mark, and we can potentially get better? Or do you think these players can level up?
I think, I wish I knew where Ben Mee was. Wilder said nobody's injured. But
him and Danny Ings have disappeared, haven't they?
Yeah. Unfortunate. I thought Ben Mee was actually playing at a good level. But whether it's his wrist or he's in the doghouse or what the deal is, an experienced center back there. Especially the ball's coming from that side. Tanganga can't see what's behind him. Bindon's got to be looking. Right? Yeah. Bindon's got the eyes forward. He can see the runner. He's got to be communicating to Tanganga, hey, get goal side.
Yeah.
And you look at what we had in the box there. We had, I think it was Burrows that was marking the top of the box. Might have been one of our center mids marking the top of the box, but that was it. We didn't have anybody else in the box. Yeah. So if that wasn't Burrows, then where's our left back? Why are we man for man on our 6-yard line? Just basic defending principles.
Completely agree. And I think when we talk about Bindon, a lot of people have, like I say, certainly been impressed with his progression over the season. But having this discussion like we are, it could even be just one bad performance, and that can be forgiven. But would you, if the opportunity became available at the moment, feeling how you feel, would you still consider signing Bindon on a permanent transfer, or would you be looking elsewhere?
Well, I think if Forrest goes down, I think they'll probably sell, and so Bindon will probably be playing with them next year, would be my guess, if Forrest goes down.
Yeah.
Which after sacking Sean Dice, who I think is great, I think they should go down. But that's another story.
That's my point. Yeah.
But possible as he's gotten better, right? He's gotten a lot better as the years gone on, than how he started. And part of it is just gaining that experience.
Yeah.
So
we've got the chance.
Yeah.
We've potentially got the chance to look at Bindon. I agree with you, though. I think Bindon will play for Forest next season if they're a championship side.
Yeah, because I think they're going to offload some players if they go down.
That's right. I think he's a known quantity for us now. We know that he works okay. Well, I'd say works well with Tanganga on the whole.
Yeah,
but there's questionables as to whether they're just above average rather than excellent at the level. Or would you go for a more unknown quantity in so much as a Harry Suter, which is a new sort of cult hero at Sheffield United because of that
I liked Harry
short
Suter when he was
stint.
here.
But because of the injury, we don't know what Harry Suter we're getting. So that's two extremes, and it'll probably end up being somebody completely different. But if that was the option, which would you prefer? Would you go for the Bindon that's more a steady hand, or a Suter that you're sinking more money into and you don't know which version you're getting, but you've got the chance to get that really strong version to play alongside Tanganga?
I think Suter. I go for the experience. Center back is a position where you need a leader. You need a captain. You need someone that's vocal back there. And I would go with Suter if he's available.
Does that mean Tanganga's not the captain for you?
I don't see. That surprised me from day one that he was made captain.
It did me
because he doesn't. I don't see him as captain material on the team.
Who would you have wear the armband at the moment then? And maybe that's the problem. Maybe we haven't got a leader per se.
Yeah, I think of our last captains, and I know you're not a big fan of Robinson, but I think of Billy Sharp. A guy that I think would be a good captain, but he started off with a bad year was Hammer, and you don't know where he's going to go.
Yeah.
O'Hare's had a great season. I don't like the idea of a 20-year-old central midfielder as a captain. So that kind of eliminates Peck from that kind of position. I think it's more of a veteran type position. So I don't know if we really have that strong captain leadership, and maybe that's what we're missing.
Love that, mate. Anything else you'd like to say before I let you go, pal? Been great having you back on.
Blades up the Ramble, man. I'm loving your podcasts. They're great. Good stuff. The transfer deadline day one was just phenomenal. I was watching it and just cracking up. It was so great.
Thank you, my mate. I love having you back on, and we'll speak to you soon, hopefully. Cheers, Mark.
Sounds good. Take care.
Thank you, mate. Top man.
Do you want your favourite replica shirts for the
That shouldn't have come back on again. Apologies. Quick note. We didn't get Mark on just because he's American and we are now appealing to the new ownership. Promise that's not the case. Mark was genuinely the first one up. And secondly, if all callers can now be as cool as Mark, I want that American accent on every single caller tonight, please, because it just sounds so much better than... it's just something different, isn't it, than what we used to. So, with that being said, welcoming our next caller on from Mobile, Alabama. It's Rich. How's it going, pal? Oh no, you're muted.
Howdy, ya.
Yes. Keep that up, please. Keep up that energy.
God.
How we going, partner?
Yeah. I'm not going to do that accent. I'm not doing it all the way through this.
How cool did Mark sound? So much cooler than
tell
us.
you, he's one of a kind, isn't he?
Oh mate, loved it. What are your general? Well, I'll ask you the same question I asked Mark, and that is that us done for the season?
No.
Ooh.
Yep.
Really?
No. Yep. Nope.
Yep. No. Is that you in being indecisive, or is that you saying no? We're not done.
It all depends, doesn't it? You've got to go back to what you were 2 games ago. Got to go on a game-by-game basis, I think.
I agree with that, Rich, but we are 9 points behind, and there's only 36 to play for.
Yeah, but we've got to play most of them.
And there's like 10 teams between us now.
Yeah, but they've all got to have peaks and troughs, don't they?
And they all play each other, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Put it this way then. How many games would we have to win?
A lot.
To get
we have to go on that. We've got to go on a bit of a run.
Do we need to get over 30 points?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So we have to win 10 games.
We've got to go on a run. It's like against QPR, for instance. I was thinking about it today. QPR, if we lose away from it, then I will probably be a lot more. Yeah, no, we're not going to do it. But
I would think so.
Yeah, it's just another game stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. When it's mathematically impossible with 6 games to go, I'll probably accept it.
But no, I'm a bit. I've still got the faith with it. I was sat there last night and shout out. I know Dave's. I've seen him backstage. He's him and Gaz last night were absolutely brilliant.
Hey, and while we're talking about watch-alongs, because I will speak to Dave Morwood about that, you have chucked your name in the hat, haven't you, for a watch-along? So you are up for it, which I love. So if any of the leads are watching and they've got another game coming up that they want to do, Rich is in the hat as well. So I'll just put that out there.
Yeah, you'll have to keep me on my reins and all the rest of it.
Yes, they will. You've got to do it with your American accent as well, by the way.
God, struggle with a Yorkshire one.
Yeah.
But if Gaz doesn't come on, don't want to steal his thunder, but commenting from what he said last night, Shariki won the penalty. That wasn't. He didn't think there was enough in that, and the Campbell one. We were there for about 4 or 5 replays, and we were still undecided.
Really?
So yeah,
okay.
So you know.
Well, Wilder seems certain in his post-match, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's got to, hasn't he? He can't go out and say his player's dived.
I don't think he's dived.
I don't.
I just sometimes it's not a penalty, and I do think he'd have said it before. I mean, when Calvin Phillips made the tackle, some people thought some thought it were a yellow, some thought it were a red. He came straight out and said, "I think it's a red card," to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I do think he'd say he obviously, but again, it's tight calls, into fine margins in these games, and I thought they were good as well. I think you have to give Coventry credit.
The thing that frustrates me with United at the minute is the creative.
We ain't got that long. We ain't got that long, Rich.
Sorry. You're going into extra time, aren't you? The creativity of it all. Like you say, Hamer slows us down a tad, I think, but it's the creativity. You mentioned it. Bamford had a quiet game, but I thought Bamford was. We weren't playing to Bamford's strengths. We were playing into their centre-backs' hands, really, by hoiking it long sometimes.
Yeah.
and not bringing it to feet. And, you know, it's like, yeah, O'Hare's been running around like headless chicken the past couple of games. And unfortunately, he's just not had much of the ball either. I can't think of a jinking run that he's made over the past couple of games. And, you know, it's one of them. I'm hopeful that it's all going to click in. But like Wilder says, it's compared to last season, it just we seem very wafer thin in confidence still, and you know it
just seems a bit disjointed, doesn't it, in places? I can't put my finger on it. Excuse me. I think confidence is a big part of it, Rich. I'll give you that.
The centre back pairing, we've got to think about it. Centre back pairing is a new centre back pairing for this season.
Yeah.
So that's a big chunk of the spine that's gone. Then think about the central midfielders. So our Blasters come back from last season.
Yeah.
So Gyro's new for this season, and then you've got Peck. So yeah, Peck's improving, but we're missing Sousa, who, let's face it, Sousa's a good.
I thought Peck were outstanding last night.
He's coming on leaps and leaps.
Which makes you think, if you're Coventry and you see City Peck play like that, I'll be amazed if they don't come in for him in summer when they go up. I'll be amazed. Really surprised if they don't.
All right, then. Here's a thought, then. Who would you rather keep, Hamer or Peck?
Peck. I bet you weren't expecting me to say that, were you?
That was quick.
I would, because I don't think... Excuse me, I don't know why I'm also tickly all of a sudden, but I think, obviously, it's a lot to do with their trajectories rather than their current abilities. So I think Gus will only go down in value.
Yeah.
And City will only go up in value, in my opinion. I think if he starts to put consistent performances together like last night, he could run the show for our midfield, and it'll be who partners City in the middle, no matter what talent we've got. You know, Gyro and City might keep out the likes of Phillips and Arblaster and Rothwell. So I've high hopes for City, but Gus is just so inconsistent. I would love if Gus signed a new contract, and I actually think it's more likely that he does than doesn't now. I don't know why. I've just got a bit of a feeling about that. But
he needs to do that ASAP, because I think ever since January, he's sort of gone missing in games. Where last season, where he was,
I'd say all season he's gone missing in games.
80% in a game, he seems to only be 20%.
Yes.
I'd rather have only that 20% than putting Samari in for the full 90 minutes. But you know what I mean? He doesn't seem to be, the contract's running down, where before he used to have players up in their levels. He seems to be almost like, I'm not saying he's down in tools, but
I don't know whether he's better against poorer teams. That might seem a little bit, well, most people will be better against poorer teams, but he's supposed to be a game changer, and I just don't think he's had that quality for us this year. He has in certain moments, don't get me wrong, and he's certainly a moments player, but I think there's a part of him that, like you said, Rich, if he's absent for 80% of the game and you're just relying on him for a moment, then is that a luxury? And in a tight game,
he's like a McAtee in the Premier League season.
Yeah, a little bit.
You're sort of saying, would you rather have somebody like an Arblaster in there?
And the alternative opinion is that, of course, you want somebody who can change the game like that, because he's got the ability to do it, and he has. Undoubtedly, he has.
Someone you were on about with captain material on the previous call. No one's mentioned Gyro.
No one has mentioned Gyro.
And I think Gyro would make an excellent captain.
What about Pat Bamford?
No. Don't like strikers. Even I didn't like Billy Sharp as being a captain.
Really?
But I'm old school. I can remember when we used to put Louis Simon Tracy as a captain and all the rest of it. I don't like goalkeepers as captain.
Okay, here's the scenario.
Okay.
Femi Siriki is sold in the summer for £15 million.
Oh, yes.
Kyle Walker returns. Is he your captain?
No.
Oh. All right. Okay. I thought it would be.
No. No,
you give
I wouldn't have Carl Walker as a captain.
Would you have Sidney Peck as captain? See, Mark said no, he doesn't want a young 20-year-old centre midfielder as captain. I think City is more than. I love Ollie Arblaster as captain. I have to say, I think he's the one that's.
Yeah, but Peck and Arblaster, I think we've come to the conclusion they can't play in the same team together.
I would not be upset for Sidney Peck to wear the armband, and I think there's a chance it takes him to a higher level. Yeah.
But I think as a captain, I like the fact of younger players, blades, if you want to call them like that,
I do too.
Getting the armband. But I also think it's a bit of experience. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if Phillips went and got it, only because he's got the experience. He's almost like being sort of there, grabbing someone by the handkerchief or saying, listen, you need to just calm down, or,
by the handkerchief.
By the, I was going to say the short and curlies, but I didn't want to go.
Okay, yeah, it's Family Channel.
Too close to the wind with the Family Channel, but yeah, it's the bit with the captain bit. I think my feelings with Jaffa. He's last night. It was the majority. Those two goals. I've looked back at it, and Femi were at fault for both of them. He wasn't getting close to. He didn't get out. That's why they were giving him.
Yeah, it looked that way live. It looked that way. I'm not going to go in on him because I hadn't seen him back. But
no,
he did look that way.
But we know that with Femi, he's not good. And that's where we need to. I
think he's got better defensively, but his positioning last night was questionable because he's so high up the pitch, and we want that output from him as well. So it's difficult, but. Then, if you're going to commit up, and Wilder said this, if you're going to commit higher up the pitch, you need to then get back in your defensive position as well. Yeah,
and Brooke needs to help him out with that, and I think he does help him out. But they need to, the experience points they get in this season. If you're on FIFA or whatever, you need to put them a bit into the defensive market. But he's Jaffa. Yeah, he needs to. Ever since his sending off at Charlton, I just don't think he's been. It's like that bit last night. You would have seen it where he got booked. That was just stupid.
Yeah, it was. It was ridiculous.
It was like after what Wilder had said in the presser about behave yourselves and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Why get involved? 9 minutes in, and then he's walking a tightrope.
I know. Ridiculous, really. Unnecessary.
And while I was watching the stream, it was like it was, unfortunately, I was watching it with the Coventry commentators. Oh my God. What is it? Steve Agrievich.
So, no, sorry, who?
Yeah, I'm like Lee. I can't pronounce his name. Oggy, yeah. There's so many empty seats in this stadium, and they've all come to see Coventry, and Anyway,
nightmare that, innit, listening to them their comms.
But they were saying that it's like they've got to walk a tightrope, and he had, and it was just
Okay, mate. Well, thank you for calling. It's great to speak to you. Not spoken
Likewise.
to you properly for a little while, so it's good to see you. And anything else you'd like to say before I let you go, pal?
No, just up the rambles. Keep yourself. I think you need to drink a bit of honey and whiskey tonight, and you'll be all right.
Possibly. See if Mrs. Ramble lets me have that, and we'll see.
Yeah.
Cheers, Rich. Thank you, my mate. See you soon.
Cheers,
Thank you, mate. Straight on to Dave Morwood. How's it going, pal?
All right, my bird. I'll be having my pasty soon.
Was that one American, wasn't it?
Cornish, mate. Cornish.
Oh, Cornish. All right, my bird. Nice. Yeah. Nice.
Right.
Now.
Right, we say, all right, pal.
Yeah. Nice. All right, my bird. All right, pal. Right.
Bird.
Okay. Good to know. Listen, mate, firstly, thank you for yesterday. You are the latest voice of the Ramble that joined Gaz Dunn for co-coms. How did you find that on the watch along yesterday?
I can't remember, mate. I'm that old.
Behave yourself. Behave
Yeah, it
yourself.
was brilliant. It was
Very good.
brilliant, man. I really enjoyed it, and I would advise anybody that hasn't done it,
Brilliant.
get
Brilliant.
up there.
Nice one, mate. Thank you for that, because it's one of the perks we try and offer, like these call-ins, really. It's one of the perks we try and offer to Platinum Ramblers. If you want to get involved, then you're more than welcome to participate in the watch-alongs. But what did you think to the game, pal?
I don't like the first 50 minutes, it was good.
Yeah.
And then those 2 goals killed us. You know, with the penalties, I didn't think Femi's was a penalty.
No, that was my instinct as well.
And Gaz said this, not speaking for Gaz, but Gaz was like, yeah. With the Ty Campbell one, I was sure it was a penalty. And
I was in real time.
Yeah, I watched like 3, one from the side, he didn't touch him, no, I didn't touch him. But the one from behind, it looks as though he just caught him. But was it enough? You know, was there enough force there for him to go down? And looking at it again, I don't think it was.
Right. Should it be enough force for him to go down? I don't know. We're splitting hairs, aren't we?
I think I said it to Gaz last night when we were talking about it, that again, it's like another referee would have given it. You're back in that thing, aren't you, with referees? One would give it,
yeah.
One would give it. You know, one would say there's not enough force. Another one would say, well, you clipped him, you caught him.
Yeah.
He's gone down. And they always tell you, don't they? You know, if somebody clips you,
go down.
Go down.
Yeah,
Because
it's the subjectivity, isn't it, of refereeing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And you're never going to get that 100% consistency because there's so many variables at play. So
yeah, that's it. I mean, we were talking also about the fight about, you know, these tactical injuries when, you know, players go down.
Yes,
blah, blah,
where,
blah.
like Rushworth did it, didn't he?
Rushworth went down about 10 minutes after. And we were like, this is what drives me crazy.
It is, isn't it?
There was nobody near him and he went down, and it's like always the same, hamstring or a muscle problem.
I know, it's
And
infuriating.
they all have a chat, you know.
Yeah, it's infuriating.
But I really enjoyed it, Jimmy. I said to Gaz, you know, it was brilliant, and I would do it again at the drop of a hat.
Nearly 5,000 people have watched you last night, pal.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, I told all my mates I was doing it, so they all watched it.
So that's 3. Where's the rest of them come from?
That's 2 actually, Jimmy. 2.
All right, fair dues. So I've asked everybody, Dave, I know you're a positive blade, but I want an honest answer from you. Is that us done for the season?
No.
We're still going. We're still going.
We're still going, yeah. I've said all along, haven't I? I'll not do the, you know, until so-and-so things, blah, blah, blah. But
Please don't.
it's mathematics, you know. There's still points there. I mean, I know it's not very probable, but what would happen if we went on a run of 10 games? Winning 10 games.
We'd need to, wouldn't we? We'd need to. I think that's where we are.
It's probably not going to happen. But until, you know, it says we need 9 points to get into the top 6, and there's only 6 to play for, then I'll say, well, that's it, we're done.
Okay. I love that mentality, by the way. We've just been having a chat, I'm sure you've heard it as well, but about captains and whether you believe Tanganga is captain material or whether you'd like to see one of the others in the team take the armband. What's your thoughts on Jaff at the minute?
At the moment, I think he's a little bit hot-headed.
Okay.
You know, Rich mentioned that 9th minute when he got involved. He got involved at the end as well for some reason.
He did. I thought we were going to get sent off.
Yeah, that's what Gaz was saying. Don't get a yellow card. Don't get a yellow card.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was... I don't know. I mean, I saw him once or twice, you know, telling the players, you do this, do that. But I don't think he's captain. I mean, the one, and you've already said it, and people have said no, but the one I've noticed, whenever a little bit of a melee breaks out, it's one man that goes in there and starts pulling our players away. And it's Siddy Peck.
Siddy Peck.
Siddy Peck is going to be a captain.
I agree.
Whether it's with us, I hope it is.
I do too.
Because he is marvellous. I mean, last night, I think when Gaz said to me about man of the match, I said Bindon. Bindon was
Right.
brilliant. You know, I never thought about City because City does what I expect City to do.
Yeah. I thought it was very, very good yesterday, to be honest.
You don't notice it. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, agreed.
You know,
Agreed.
That's given me some points with Brett, that anyway. So
yeah, it has. Brett will be happy with that one. Anything else you want to mention, pal, before I let you go?
No, that's it, mate. Like I said, anytime you want somebody on the watch along or anything else, I'm here.
Thank you, mate. I love that.
I've only done like 5 or 10 minutes or like maybe half an hour hot topic or so, but 2.5 hours yesterday.
You know, it's some baptism of fire, isn't it? To be honest, we've got a bit of a queue forming now for watch-alongs, which is great. I love that so many people are interested.
It's different views, different.
It is, yeah. It's what we're about, isn't it? It's what we're about, mate.
Yeah, that's it. It's open to everyone, and I would say, get on there. You know, if you can get on, it's easy. It's like sitting with a mate, talking to a mate about football.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? That's what it is.
TV.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
It's only when the names come up, like, you know, the names that you don't know, like that blah 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 thing and stuff, you know. Blah blah blah.
Love that, mate.
I said to Gaz, there's only one thing wrong, Gaz, when we were like setting up. I said I have to wear long distance glasses and I have to wear reading glasses. So the comments said, I don't want him. I'll sort the comments out, don't worry. And then after about half time, we never had one. But it turns out all other streams were the same.
Right, okay. Is that what had happened? Were it like an outage or something like that?
It must have been a problem with YouTube because somebody spoke to me today from the other side of the city and he was doing one for Norwich and his never came up.
Right, okay. Interesting.
So it's got to be a YouTube thing that did it, mate. But
We'll take that.
Never mind. Onwards and upwards to QPR and 3 points.
Top man.
Let's
Cheers,
go.
Davey boy. See you soon,
No
pal.
worries, mate. Up the Ramble. See you soon, Jimmy.
See you soon.
Oh, by the way, I sent you a message to your phone.
Okay, I'll have a look. Thank you, mate.
Cheers,
Cheers,
mate.
pal.
Bye.
See you later. Dave Morwood, absolute Ramble legend. Thank you, Dave. The Mr. Morwood. We should be calling him round here, I think, actually, to be honest. So yeah, he joined in on one of our watch-alongs yesterday for the Cov game with the Man in Black Gaz done, and it's like you said, it's a perk of our Platinum Rambler offering, which you can get at the QR code here if you're interested in that. And somebody else who made their debut not so long since, alongside my good self on Ramble FC, is Adam. How's it going, pal?
Not too bad, mate. Are you?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you, mate. Okay, same question that I've been asking everybody. Are we done for the season?
No, it's never over till it's over. Even Wilder would be telling you that.
Well, I'm not asking Chris Wilder because I know what he'll say. But
he's only saying that just because he knows what could happen next season. That's why he said that. It's just a little teaser, just to try and make the focus shift away from what's going off now.
Possibly. I think he believes that there's a fighting chance, he will keep going. I understand that. But I personally think it's now going to be a bridge too far. Obviously, it's still mathematically possible. That's not what the question's about. It's more, do you actually think we've got a realistic chance of the playoffs? And I don't, if I'm honest, at the moment. It's not like me to be like that, Adam. You know that. I try and be positive wherever I can. But the alternative to that is, and I'll put this to you as well, because say worst case scenario doesn't happen, or we don't make the playoffs. I am very confident for how we could go in the championship next year. Normally you'd be worrying, but I think we're in a really strong position for championship football next season. We'll lose a couple of players like we were saying earlier, but I think we've got a good squad at the level. What would you say?
Definitely. There are a few players that aren't our players or might not be our players that we should really be on point for if we're thinking about next season as a last-ditch effort. So, for me, I'd say we've got to try and keep Bindon.
Would you?
Yeah. Last night, we went toe-to-toe with top at table. And we all know the points per average because you mentioned it the other night. So we should be up there. And he didn't look out of place at all.
Do you know, Dave Morwood just said exactly the same. I don't know whether you had a chance to hear it, but he was saying he was his man of the match. And obviously, he takes City's performance into account, but he just said Bindon were one of the best players on the pitch last night as well. So I was talking to Mark as the first caller, and he was saying he's not quite sure about our defence as a unit. He wasn't calling out anybody individually, really, but it's frustrating that we don't get the results against these teams. Coventry, Middlesbrough. It was the same last season with Burnley and Leeds. We're just falling to these teams that are doing that touch better than us, and that maybe that's the difference. Do you think that's the case with us? Clearly not. If you think Bindon's somebody that you'd want to go for, do you think it's just like the odd poor performance here or there, but overall they've been very good together?
Yeah, I would agree, and especially the fact that I'm pretty sure we got Jaff pretty early on, and then Bindon's come along after. So they're not been here like Peck or Sariki or Brooks. The new players to the club, and they've just gone straight. He's gone straight in, and he's doing the work. He were a bit sketchy at start, which he's going to be because he's not known to play with everyone. He doesn't know where everyone's going to want the ball and things like that. But he's found his feet, and last night he went toe to toe, and he impressed me a lot more.
I agree. I think actually, I know what you're saying, but Bindon was, which makes it even more impressive because Bindon, I think, was our first signing, even under Sayers. I think he was our first. He was certainly one of the first, and then he was playing alongside Jack Robinson in defence, and then alongside Reece Norrington-Davies as a centre back, and we were getting murdered every game. We were getting absolutely turned over, as we shudder as we think back to. And then when Wilder came back in, he got bombed out. He got bombed out of the side, and he's fought his way back into the starting 11. So it's not just like he's come in and he's adapted. It's that he's recovered from a previous poor perception of him from Wilder, I suppose. He did the same with Paul Coates and Kieran Freeman when he first came to us in League One. He'd made a snap decision on him because you have to assess every player as you see them at the time, and they were on transfer list. And if we could have terminated Bindon then, I think none of us would have been surprised if Bindon had gone back and returned to Nottingham Forest, if Wilder could have ended that loan deal then. But he's forced his way back in, and through injuries to certain players, he's got a start, and then he's impressed. And I think he's done really well. So I agree with your point, really, that he's certainly earned his place in the team. It's just, and I personally would like to see us sign him permanently if it becomes an option, but it's got to be at the right price. And I don't know. Do you think it's more likely if Forest come down or if Forest stay up?
I think it's irrespective of the matter, really. I think personally, from my perspective, is we've got Jaff for X amount of time. We don't have Bindon. They've been working really well together. They've not had the most time together and playing well together. They've started to, now that, red cards and things and injuries and all that nonsense has been done and dealt with. They've now got the rest of this season to build that partnership and foundation ready for next season as well, which should then give us a bit more strength in that back line. Tariqi's doing well. He keeps going on. No problems there. McCallum should be back. We're fine there. Burrows, again, did really well last night. Yeah. So he's doing well. So we're covered there. And we've got Hielder.
Yeah. Who I really like the look of, by the way.
So do I. I just want to see a bit more of him. I want to see him. I want to see him do a lot more. Like, I want to see him put to the test, really, because we've seen other players put to the test. He's just been on there and he's been doing bits, but I don't think anyone's really been up against him like man to man or out like that yet. And that's something that I'd need to see before really saying yeah or no.
Fair enough, mate. Before I let you go, I'm going to ask you, who's your starting midfield two, if everybody's available?
It's got to be Peck.
For the podcast listeners, we were okay. It's just Adam's thinking about it. Peck
it's got to be Peck, and it's going to have to be Gyro. But blasting it, I don't know what he's going to be like after the rest of this season. So going forward, it's got to be them two, because they are the most solid and consistent we've seen yet, other than like Callum O'Hare, who can go from middle or left, because Wilder has been known to put him there.
Yeah, yes.
So I can see him doing an interchange role there, but that's something that I'm not happy with as well. We've got too many interchangeable players, and I think that's what's letting us down a bit, because you're used to seeing a certain player in a certain position, and then they're doing another position. So then when you're doing these long range balls, you're trying to put it to where you think they're going to be. And because they're interchanging roles all the time, it's making things a bit skewy. I think we need to start trying to keep players located in the roles, and then focus on doing the magic of Gustavo Ayman and stuff like that. That can come after, but the interchangeable stuff needs to stop, because it's getting annoying.
Nice. Adam,
it's not solid enough. There's no spine, like I can't remember where that said, but I think that's where we're going wrong, and that's why we're not as solid as last season.
Okay, mate. Well, thank you for your contribution tonight. Great to have you on 90 After 90 for your 90 After 90 debut, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. I didn't know that this was open to everybody, and I think it was Mildred that.
Yeah, it's all Platinum Ramblers. The link goes in the Ramble news bit, so we'll get you in there if you're not already. So I'll catch you soon, mate, and thanks again for joining us. I'll see you soon.
Sure are. Bye.
Straight into the man in black, having a quick light beverage before he comes on. How's it going, pal?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. You just called me out again, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. The latest lead commentator for the Ramble. How are you, my mate?
Yeah, good. Very busy day. 2-hour drive, fitness test, 2-hour drive back, straight to work, and just walked in. We're about to watch this from the start because me and Steph have missed it.
Oh, right.
I tried to get her on. She's like, I ain't doing it. I've been at work since 4.
Oh, fair enough. Well, she's the Blades' lucky charm, as we know. So, and you're taking her to QPR, aren't you, at weekend? So
yeah, I am. She just said to me then, she goes, I didn't watch it last night, so it's her fault.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to say anything about it. So, yes. So, mate, how did you find the watch along first and foremost?
Oh, absolutely gleaming. It was really good. I enjoyed it. Dave was absolute class, by the way. Mr. Morwood.
He's top draw, isn't he, Mr. Morwood?
He is absolute class. He was really good. It's like we were having problems with the comments because I think StreamYard was just playing up across multiple.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah.
Which is a bit made it a bit harder. But no, we did all right. Yeah. We did all right.
As I say, I've not watched it all back yet. I've been watching it in bits, but it does look really good. Like, you had a really good laugh. So yeah, and I was telling him nearly 5,000 have watched you do that. Yeah. So yeah, so it's gone really well, and thank you again for doing it, mate. So
anytime, mate, you know that.
Might have to get you two back together again for another stream in the future. But look, Gaz, I'm always conscious about talking to you about stuff because you're a Blade first and foremost, but you're also a highly experienced referee that I need.
I'd say I'm old, Jim.
No, not at all. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that to a man of your position. But I need to know your thoughts. So I do always sort of lean into some refereeing decisions, which I know you're happy to give and share your experience on. But the 2 penalty calls last night, I know where you sit on it. I think we've even mentioned it on the stream tonight. But can you explain what you thought happened during the 2 calls, please?
Yeah, Chris thinks it's definitely, doesn't he? He thinks they're both penalties. For me, I get where he's coming from, and I understand what managers say when they say, "Why would he go down? Why would he go down?" And I do think sometimes that's just players. It really is. In my opinion, I'll talk about the Femi one first. There is contact. He does go to grab his arm. I think he actually holds it for about 1 millimeter a second or something like that. And then let's go. It's not impactful. That contact does not cause Femi to go down like that. And that's why, in my opinion, the referee's not giving it. It's not impactful contact. And I know people on this channel probably think Gaz always talks about impact and things, because that's what we do. That's what we judge it on.
Yeah.
What's the impact to the player? Is it I look at a scale of impact and severity, and I think there's very little impact and there's very little severity to it. So in my opinion,
so it falls below the threshold of a foul.
Yeah, it's not a foul. And people say, well, if that's on the halfway line, that gets given. Yeah, maybe it does. But that's because it's when it comes to getting a free kick, as in a free kick at goal from 12 yards, i.e. a penalty kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be impactful. And that's why I think the Femi one's not. That's my thinking of what the referee maybe thought about that one last night. And then
Interesting.
I'll talk. What's your view on the Femi one?
Well, I've only seen them both live, so I haven't watched them
have you not
back
seen
on
them
the
yet?
replay.
Okay.
But I can tell you, my initial thoughts were Femi's wasn't and Ty's was. That's having seen them both live once. And that's it.
So for me, for Campbell's, for me, I can see why people think that could be a penalty and thinking, what is the referee doing?
Yeah.
Now, I've looked at it from a couple of angles already. And I'll be honest with you, it took me a couple of angles to look at it and to see if there's contact. I thought the referee got it spot on live, but when I've looked back at it and gone through it, it's just backed it up even more. I was talking to Jack about it, and Jack thinks I get a bit
Statman Jack.
Yeah, no. Jack Smith. Is it Jack Smith?
Oh yeah, positive Jack. Yeah,
positive Jack. And I've actually spun him on a decision on a different game today, actually, by the way.
I saw that. Yeah.
And he says there's contact. But it's all about angles. And for my opinion, when you look at it from a side on angle, I don't think there's any contact. I know what Wilder said. I've seen his post-match saying, I've asked him not to mug me off and all that, and I get that. And Ty said that. But I know what I'd be saying as a player. If the manager's gone to me, is the contact, and I've probably just gone down where I've got a chance of having a shot at goal to make it 2-2. What am I going to say?
Yeah. You're going to look after yourself, aren't you?
Yeah.
Make sure the manager don't think you've dived.
Yeah, exactly.
For it, at least.
Considering we all know what Wilder's fault is of diving, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
So for me, they're both not penalties. I can see that it's the Femi one is 100,000,000%. I can't even see why anyone thinks that's a penalty. Personally, that's just my personal opinion. The Campbell one, I can see if people think there's contact there, then I can see why people think that's a penalty. I can.
I am. I'm concerned that I think Bamford's been guilty of this, and I think Femi Siriki's been guilty in the last couple of games. I'm concerned that we're getting a bit of a reputation for diving, and it's never been a Sheffield United thing. And I'm disappointed in it for one. And my main concern is it going to be like the boy who cried wolf with some refereeing decisions?
I would like to think every decision is made in isolation.
I know you would.
I can only speak about my opinion on that. I don't. I've made some howling decisions before in the field of play. I have. Most referees have. We don't then go and look and level it up. We don't think, just because that player dived last week, he's going to dive this week. I don't think like that. And I can only think about what's in my head. Yeah. I would like to think not. I think about it. We were, 30? How many games are we in now?
34. 34
games in. I could think of the Bamford incident. I could think of Femi a few times, but I don't think Femi's ever been cautioned for diving that I can think of. I could be wrong.
I think it might be once, but again, that's vague memory.
And then Tyrese last night. So in 34 games in the league, there's been 3 potentially. I don't think that's
more recent. More recently, that's what we've been doing, and I don't like it. I'm not. Maybe I'm just overthinking it too much. And I agree with you, Gaz. I don't think anybody would intentionally, like a referee, would go and say, "Oh well, I know that Bamford likes to hit the deck," or whatever it might be. But there's also a human element of it, sort of that, and a subconscious maybe that says, well, it's not his first time of doing this, and I have to just double check to see whether I actually think that was a foul. So you'll never know the balance or the reasoning behind any individual decision, because you'll just get what's justifiable. But it's it's an interesting balance, I think, to play off there. I think we're playing a dangerous game if we start chucking ourselves to the floor, essentially, and it's never been our way of doing things, and I don't want it to start now. And I'm sure Wilder, like you said earlier, Gaz, I'm sure Wilder don't want that either. No,
I don't think he does. The thing with Femi, and I'll be open and honest with Femi, is, and he will get the minutest of contact, and it will be impactful, just for awareness, because
of how quick he is.
Because of how quick he is. He moves that quickly. The slightest contact on him would be different for the slightest contact on Bamford, for example.
Yes,
it's a way I can potentially put that, because, like I say, it's all about impact and severity, and that's the way I look at penalties. There's got to be impact, and there's got to be some severity in it. So yeah, that's just my opinion on that. I think the game overall, Frustrated more than anything with the game, I think.
Yeah, me too, mate. What do you think? Is it done for us this season?
I'm on the fence, but I will give you. I'll tell you why I'm on the fence. I went into these 2 games saying we needed 4 points, and I'd be happy with that, and I think we'd still be on track. To then turn around and say, well, if we get 3 points, which is only 1 point less, it's off.
Yeah, but yours was under the proviso that Wrexham didn't beat Ipswich as well, weren't it? I think.
Yeah, it was. I think there's too much traffic. I look at Southampton at the moment, Wrexham picking up points. Yeah, all right, Birmingham lost. I think it's too. I'm more leaning now towards it's off than it's on.
Oh, yeah.
I am. It's when I sat there last week and said I'd take 4 points from these 2 games, and I think it's still on. To then go, well, we've had 1 loss where we dominated top of the league for 50 minutes. In my opinion, we're 2 stupid defensive decisions, and that I think.
Who do you blame for defensive lapses? By the way,
that one was Femi. The first goal's Femi. Okay. He's not showing him. He's not showing him outside, has he?
No, he hasn't.
He's not got close enough. You saw City. City had a right go at him.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. I saw that live.
Yeah,
he was shouting him on the pitch. He says, "Why are you showing him in?
Yeah,
why are you showing him there?"
Yeah. But I thought Wilder said it very well in the interview, didn't he? They're young players.
Yeah.
He pretty much said everyone's a young player minus Coops, Callum, Pat, and Gus. Yeah. Everyone else, the junior players on that field of play they were last night, they're going to make mistakes. But let's look to next season. Worst case, if we don't get them playoffs, because we've got a good team if we can keep the nucleus of that squad. And we know Wilder's what he's like in the transfer market. So
mate.
Why not, mate? Why not? I think next season, I know it's going to be difficult. If it's 8, it might even be 8 places for playoffs next season. Not that United do very well.
It will be. Yeah, I think it will be.
So,
Gaz, thank you, my mate. Enjoy QPR, because I know you're heading down with a few other Ramblers and Mrs. Dunn. So, just take it steady. Not too much of the red wine, and we'll hopefully come back with 3 points.
Hopefully 3 points, mate. So, yeah, cheers again, Jimmy, for last night, and up the blades.
Thank you, mate. Top man. Cheers, Gaz. Straight on to Mr. Meldrew. How's it going, pal?
How are you doing, mate? Okay?
Yes, I'm all right, thank you. I'm all right. I'm going to ask you the same question I'm asking everybody. I think I know your answer. Are we done?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, mate.
That's not even being like with a negative head on. I just think
I agree.
Like that, it's just an honest assessment. I just can't. We seem to win 1, lose 1, lose 2, win 1. We're that sort of team.
This season we are, yeah.
Yeah, I can't see it. We need to get rid of some deadwood, mate, and bring some better players in. Because I mean, you look last night. He takes Brooks off. He's bringing Chong on. It's big. It's a rate drop off, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's like having a decent motor and then going to shop on a scooter. It's just not happening, is it? You know what I mean?
What did you think to the game last night?
First half, I don't know. We're not in front.
I agree.
We stood down at half time saying, like, have we not scored 1, maybe 2? I think Pat sort of gets that shot on his right foot, cuts it on his left, and then he may as well throw it back to the keeper.
Straight at keeper. After he's done all hard work.
Yeah, he did all hard work. That's what everybody was saying. And Brooks, he had a couple blocked. I thought Gus Amy were poor last night.
I don't like saying it.
They were though. There's no wrong with it, mate. It's end of the day, call them out for what it is. I think Aware's been quite poor last 2 or 3 games. They were giving him some hammer last night, and it just didn't look sane. But for me, the problem were last night were game management's got to improve.
Yes.
When you go in front, you can't go and do what we did. We were behind in 7 minutes when they got first goal. You're behind, you're 2-1.
Why are we inviting pressure on it when we've just look after the ball for the first 5-10 minutes?
Exactly. I said to my dad, like, and I don't just want to sound like I said this for the sake of saying it, but I said to him, we've got to get through next 15. Got to get through it. They've then got to potentially change how they play because we're probably dominating game for the next 10 or 15 minutes. They bring subs on. I thought we should have made a change at 60. We left it till 75.
I thought same. I thought so.
I don't get it.
We normally
and to be
do as
honest,
well. We normally do.
Yeah, and he's had a lot of stick, Campbell. I thought he did well when he come on. I thought he did all right. I thought we looked, and I don't mean well as in, oh, well, he had 4 shots and this, that, other. What I'm getting at is I think the way that we play and we play with him, I think we were more effective with Campbell up pitch because I don't think it was Bamford's game last night. I think
No, it weren't.
I thought Pat Bamford struggled, to be honest.
Yeah. I thought we struggled to get him into the game, and I don't think he was as impactful as he has been.
Exactly. Get him into a rhythm, and it were going up to him, and it just sometimes weren't sticking and this, that, other. But yeah, it's Samari. I thought did all right. Samari's problem last night, but he did all hard stuff and couldn't pass it 5 yards.
I know.
I think he made one pass that were probably a decent ball outside for Bamford, and he probably should have had a shot, and he held on to it too much, and I think we lost it then. But or he got called offside. I can't really remember, but yeah, just I don't think. I think that's it, mate. I can't say. I know. Sort of speaking to George last night, he feels similar to me.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're a bit reactive after a defeat, but yeah, I don't feel any different this morning to what I did last night. But yeah, disappointing, frustration. Like a lot of people have said, it's frustrating. You come out because you kind of know what we're there to get back to 6 points, and then you may be talking again. Like I've said for weeks, I think you've got to just take it a game at a time and see where you end up. Do you know what I mean?
Do you not think like the acceptance of us being in Championship next year, so it makes you look at how we're set up to go into the Championship next year, and we're actually okay. I think we'll be all right next year.
We are, and I agree with you. The fact that I don't think it'll be as sort of fire sale as people think. I think we'll lose a couple.
Yeah, I do.
2 or 3. Like you said, the nucleus is there to build a decent squad, and we've probably got one at best men to do it.
Yeah.
on a budget. I do think owners will back him from what I've read and what I've seen. But we've just got to enjoy the rest of the season for what it is. You never know, do you? That's the thing with football. You never know. I don't think it'll happen. I'm like Gaz and a few others. I think there's too much traffic. But yeah, just frustrating last night. Game management's got to be better, and I left disappointed. I were annoyed coming out of ground last night.
How do you think we'll get on at weekend? You're going out,
Tough one. Yeah, tough one, innit? Because obviously they've just been walloped, haven't they? 5-0. So, like Lou said the other night, they'll want a reaction. Not too concerned by our performance. I thought performance were decent, and I thought we actually performed better last night than we did against Borough. Yeah, I thought out of 2 games last night were probably a game where I thought we'd have more of a chance. Do you know what I mean? And obviously Borough played us off park, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've got to win, haven't we? If we're going to be sort of there or thereabouts, we've got to be winning. But
I spoke to a QPR channel this morning, and they are really nervous. They've got loads of injuries, and they think they're slipping, and that it's right time to play them. They were saying so. I'm hoping that we can bounce back. And like you say, you never know, do you? And look, after the game, I might be doing 90 after 90 after I've been on watch along with Dave the Nose, and I might be saying, "Hey up."
This is what I mean. This
is 7 points, and there's 11 games to go. It might be one of them, might it?
A bit one of them. I'm getting a bit nervous about this. A bit shaky.
No.
But now, listen. If we get a win on Saturday, everyone's talking about it again. It'll go from week to week. I do think the traffic's going to be an issue. I mean, Wrexham, they didn't get out of third gear on Tuesday night. Obviously, I watched it for Ramble special that we did, and I think it'll be tough. Southampton, they're another one that I worry about, and I don't think any others above Wrexham are probably catchable.
No, I agree.
Personally, although we've got to play them, we've just got to beat what's in front of us. But I do think we're very hit and miss in terms of we'll have a win here, draw here, 2 defeats here. But
missed opportunity this season, isn't it? Missed opportunity.
100%. I mean, we knew what Summer did to us, and this, that, other. And Wilder had a job on, and he openly said himself it were a bigger job than he originally first thought. Obviously, of Benny, me, Danny Ings nowhere near. But yeah, I just think we've just got to keep going. Got to get behind him and see where we end up. But yeah, disappointing last night, but we move on.
Top man Marco, thank you for that, pal. And I'll
Cheers, pal.
catch up with you soon.
Take care, mate.
You too, mate. See you in a
Ta-ra,
bit.
pal.
Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.
This is the view from the mountain.
God damn, mate. Bit of a quick
I
changeover.
know. Well, you got to keep you on your toes. Got to keep you on your toes. How you doing, pal?
Yeah, I'm all right. Bit tired.
Bit tired, bit wired.
Yeah, a bit tired, mate. But
It was
yeah,
a late one for us, weren't it, mate?
it was driving home. Yeah, definitely. It was
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah. What did you think
and
last
by
night?
the sounds of it, by the sounds of what was going off. So yeah, really good.
Yeah, good night, mate. Good night.
Yeah, the game. I think we all discussed it after the game, didn't we, last night? And it kind of like it's like Wilder was listening to us a little bit because he sort of repeated nearly everything that we'd sort of said as well. So I think Mark makes some good points there. I think from listening, it sounds like we've I think we've got the finger on the pulse for this one, because I think we did really well last night, and the first half was good. We didn't take a chance in early doors, and I think I have to point the finger a little bit at Femi, but also I have to think about the leadership on the pitch as well, because I agree fully with what was said about the naivety following the goal. I think if you score early in the second half, and like Mark just said right there, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, you just batten it down a little bit. You hit some areas, you make them, you can defend properly, and you don't overcommit going forward. And obviously, Femi's a weapon down that right hand side. There's no doubt about it. But picking and choosing your moments is important. I think he comes inside again, like alluded, on his right foot. You got to recognise the threats of your opposition, and a lot of left-sided forwards or left wingers or whatever you want. They're going out wide and crossing the ball is a thing from the 90s. And,
it is.
Cutting inside and smashing one is a thing from the noughties and beyond. So it's
from the now.
That's what's done us, hasn't it, at the end of the day, and he's been caught out of position. I did think that obviously City dropped in for one of them. I thought if Gyro was on the pitch, I feel like he's a little bit more. He might have been the one that went in and saved the day for us a little bit.
Yeah.
Give him
You'd said that after the game, hadn't you? You think he drops in and nullifies that space? Yeah,
I think so. His game intelligence, I think, is another level to what we've got. I mean, Phillips, we're yet to see it and whether his mobility is there, but Gyro's just, I think he's a really smart player.
Yeah.
And I think he might have helped us with that one. But yeah, I think it's disappointing because we were so high after the goal, and then all of a sudden we've almost let ourselves down a touch. I think it was a really high quality ball. I think Radoni showed us something that we've missed a little bit. I mean, we've lauded Cal this year because he has shown flashes of doing that kind of thing. The goal at Wrexham, it reminded me of Radoni putting your head in where it hurts and joining in. I think we snatched at a lot of our shots. I did say I think that might be down to Rushworth being such a able keeper. And yeah, my footballing career doesn't compare, but I know when you're playing against a really good goalkeeper, there is a tendency to try and overcook it, hit it in the corners with too much power, and you shank it because you're trying to hit it too hard. There's a lot of wasted shots and opportunities that we did, and whether that's because they feel like they've got to hit it that hard, or they've got to
do something special to get past.
Do something special to score. That can play on your mind a little bit when you're playing against a really top keeper, and it sort of changes the way you go about it sometimes. So
he was good as well, weren't he, Rushworth, last night?
He wasn't going to give us anything, was he?
No.
We had to really earn the goals, and a slice of fortune with ours a little bit, but that's what you get. And I think our finishing on the edge of the box. I did say this last night as well, that we seem to get a lot of opportunities from corners with the balls dropping to Andre Brooks. They seem to fall to them an awful lot.
Yeah, they do.
And you never quite know what you're going to get on the end of it from Brooksy. He has scored them, obviously. He can score them.
I think you're going to get a touch, and then a touch with his outside of his left to get it onto his left, and then he's going to try and shoot, and it'll be blocked. I think that's what you usually get.
Yeah, and I think he pauses a little bit too long, and those blocks are able to come in.
Hesitant.
Where Gus, the first touch gives him that little bit more He's always looking to set it outside his body so he can strike one. And I just think that's a tactical tweak that would be a really good move for us. When the ball drops to Gus on the edge of the box, you have a different feeling because he strikes the ball differently to everybody else.
It's very clean, isn't it? Very clean from Gus.
He's a very clean striker of the ball, and I think that would be something I'd be looking at if I was on set pieces for Sheffield United, which I'm not. But I'd be looking at putting Gus on the edge of the box and putting him where Brooks is, because it just seems to fall to him all the time. But anyway, other than that, I thought we played quite well, and I think that they showed a little bit. Their squad was really impressive. That's the other point. Yeah. I think that we often look at our squad and think, more recently with the acquisitions we've made, we go, oh yeah, we've got plenty to come here. There's players on here who can change the game for us. I looked at Cov's bench last night.
We did, didn't we? We were looking at team sheet. We're like, oh.
And I could make an argument for 5 of them getting in every single team in this division, other than maybe Coventry's. And it was like they had a really, really strong bench full of really good players. And I think that's the accumulation over a couple of years of building really, really cleverly. Not
right.
Smashing loads of money. The wage bills, I believe, if sources are right, it's sort of a mid-table.
Yeah, it is lower mid-table. Lower mid-table. About 16th-ish, isn't it? Something like that. Ridiculous.
Yeah, and it just shows that they've been doing a lot of good work off the field as well as on the field.
Yeah,
and what you've got there is genuine competition that says if you're not firing,
that's true.
Then you're not playing. End of story.
Victor Torp's a very good player to keep out of the team, isn't he?
Well, I mean, Victor Torp again walks into 90% of the teams in this division.
Yeah.
SA there, and they've
don't even get on.
He got on late, I think.
SA did.
But there was loads of them, weren't there? Who's the young lad?
Thomas Asante.
Thomas Asante, he's got about 10 in 10 at the start.
Yeah, I know.
They've got who's the young lad?
Sims Eccles.
Eccles, that's it, Josh Eccles.
Yeah, Josh Eccles.
I like him as well.
Good player.
So I just think their bench was really, really strong, and I think that they're just 6 months, a year ahead of us, really, because I didn't think there was a great deal in the two sides last night.
No, I didn't. Their game management were much better than ours. I think that's probably fair to say. But I'm going to ask you the same question, mate, that I've been asking everybody tonight. Is that us done for the season?
No, not for me. I think if we go again and we win Saturday, we've been saying it, but Coventry's an hard game. I don't think you can write the season off because you lose 2-1 at home to Coventry. I still believe that on the day we beat anybody in the division, I still believe if we'd have done a few things differently last night, we'd have beat Coventry as well. I don't think I thought they were clinical, obviously, with the 2 goals they took, but I feel like on another day we could have done them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, well, what about Pat when he sits Matey down and cuts in on his left?
Yeah,
he snatched at it, and we've seen him slot that time after time this season.
I think the fact that I don't think we're going to do it now isn't to do with the squad ability. It's just the sheer lack of games left.
Jimmy, if we win 3 or 4 on the bounce now, and we get within,
I'll be the first one dancing about it.
Yeah, but things can fall our way. Look at this division all year: win, lose, draw. The teams are just doing that all the time, and I think you're right in highlighting teams like Southampton, who we think have been underperforming all season and have a better team than most. That's what they've shown.
Yeah.
For the majority of the season, but they've got to go and do it now. That the emphasis on them. We are the massive underdogs. There's no doubt about it. There's a big enough gap to say that. But if you keep winning, there's still quite a lot of points to pay for.
There are. That's fair to say, mate. Right, I'm going to let you go. Thank you for your call, pal, and I will catch up with you very soon.
Yes,
enjoy QPR if I don't see you before.
Yeah, all right,
I've seen you before, am I?
Take care. Cheers, Ramblers. Take care, guys.
Cheers, pal. Ta-ra. The Man Mountain there, finishing off our callers for the night. What a ledge. Let me just get through some comments before we wrap up, because we've been going an hour and a half. But I did say I'd try and get through at least one comment from everybody, so we'll see if I can get through it. Sheila's Wheels says, "Hi, Jimmy. I think we deserve something from the game. Excellent first half and should have been in front. Even Cov reporters Thought that they had good fortune. I reckon the ref bottled Sariki's pen claim. Still not sure of Campbell's pen. Puhausery from their keeper deserved a certain caution, and others had the rally down water. Nice to see Steve Rosen saying a few words. Also think Wilder and Lampard hold each other in great respect. Lampard speaking highly of Wilder and the team. Anything in the rumour of Billy coming back as a coach? Had it mentioned to me this morning, up the Ramble, up the Blades Ramble, up Ramble FC. I've heard a rumour from social media. I've not heard anything else other than that, Sheila. I wouldn't read much into it until we hear a little bit more legs to it, to be honest. Andrew says, excuse me, he doesn't cough, but he says, thought we played well, just didn't get the rub of the green at right times. Errors punished. I think it's nearly time to give Faxon a run of games once the top 6 is really not achievable. Interesting, that's not a bad shout, actually. I need to see if he's up to championship level for next season and give Cooper a rest and time to get over any injuries he's carrying. Davis isn't the answer or the future. Paul says, hi Jimmy, I hope you're well. Family's okay. The future looks good for the Blades once we get everyone back from injury and suspensions and add a few more quality. We'll rip this second tier apart next season. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Thank you, mate. Joe says, they did to us what we did so many times last season. Thought that was Hamer's worst performance for us since he signed. So sloppy. Thought Samari and Peck controlled the midfield. Interesting. On a side note, I'm buzzing for next season. Wilder with limited money doing what he does. Keep the spine of the team and utilise the free agent and low market. One and Bamford up top for me. Totally agree. Tanganga's not lived up to the expectations, says Chris. Very poor for the goals last night. Cooper should have done better for the first goal. Small mistakes cost us. Up the Ramble. It's fine margins, isn't it? Batman Lou says, great night last night, Jim, despite the result. Shock horror. Louis agreed with CW, but I agree regarding the 2 goals. Naivety. I thought the overall performance was okay. Game management needs to improve as well. It's probably a different kind of game if you have Gyro, Rothwell and Phillips available from the beginning. Shout out to Rich Carrington for a great evening. Up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. It costs note. It does cost note. You're absolutely right to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Absolutely free as a bird. Tom Brammer says we played okay and improved massively. But I think that's it now. 9 points is a lot around the playoffs. The start took us too long to kickstart, but look at the positives. We didn't go down after Sayers. Absolutely right. Evening, Jimmy, says Ian. Bar 10 minutes of madness. I thought we were excellent last night. Similar performance. And we put a depleted QPR to the sword. Oh, in regards to your new friend, Mr. Rosen, he's a Rambler. Yes. We were very fortunate to meet Steve Rosen in the hotel. In fact, I'm going to tell this story. I wasn't going to, but I'm going to now because I'm very excited about it. And shout out to Mr. Rosen, if you're watching. He came up to us in the hotel. We were at the bar, and Steve Rosen walked up to us, shook my hand and went, hey, I just have to introduce myself to this guy. I'm a huge fan of your YouTube. I was what? Are you for real? So yeah, completely put me on the back foot. It was ridiculously tongue-tied for the first 2 minutes of talking to him, but spent a long time with him then, a group of us Ramblers, and it was great to hear from him and get to know a little bit about what his plans are. So yeah, thank you for your time. Interesting. Dave says, well played. On another day, we take all 3 points. Not one to blame the ref, but a very poor last night. Jack says, quite disappointed in them, mate. Going toe-to-toe means no when you come home empty-handed. Doesn't matter how well you play, we did that to ourselves. Definite pens, but why do we become shot shy in these games? Solid first half to then let ourselves down. Peck and Samari were good, and Gus did well. Yeah, okay, fair dues, pal. Bristow Brett says, we played well, unlucky really, but we go again. It was a good game against a good team. Playoffs are harder, but still doable. Whatever happens, I think next season will be great in whatever league. Rossi says, Jimmy, I believe in them, but we must go on an unbeaten run from Saturday up all the Rambles. Ian says, not prepared to give it up yet. I'll give it up when Wilder does. Well, you won't be giving it up then, will you? Sarah says, evening, mate. Hope you're good. Thought we played better up the Blades, up the Ramble. Ev says, seen a lot of people saying season over. It's really not. There's still plenty of football to be played, and we've got a bad run of games now. We've not got a bad run of games now. Come on, you Blades. Yeah, don't let me and my... I don't think it's negativity. I just think it's... it's a different opinion, isn't it? My headspace is that we're not going to make the playoffs now, and I think that's healthy to think like that if you accept it. And then if we do make it, then it's absolutely brilliant. But if you are still on the promotion train and that we can get the playoffs, brilliant, crack on. Cov fan says Paul, Blades of last season would have put us away last night. Possession wins you nothing. If you're clueless up front and a soft underbelly at the back, Coventry outplayed but ruthless finishers. Interesting. Thank you, my mate, for joining us. Justin says, good to hear from Steve Rosen last night. Visibility and accountability is all I'm after. Strange one last night to walk away after a defeat, but reasonably pleased. Should have been well on top up the Ramble. Adam says, evening, Jimmy, mate. Might be a two-parter, but last night wasn't up to us. Second, third and fourth official last night really dropped the ball. Or two, how can Campbell get a yellow card for simulation when Sariki's one was virtually the same and doesn't get a yellow for it? Consistency, just because the refs don't want to take the rap for what happens by the players, and that's not me calling for VAR, but refs. Brett says, result aside, it was a good night, mate. Made me even more positive about our future as a club. Dave, the running bladesman, says we're good enough to win. Remain mentally strong enough to win the remaining games, I think is what you mean there, pal. Roy says we beat ourselves last night, missed scoring opportunities and a couple of naive moments in defence. We were the best team. Knockoff Nige says, I think we'll finish 9th or 10th-ish, but after the 5-0 loss away at Ipswich, would have taken that position. I would have. Keep going, fingers crossed for next season. Well said, mate. We have the ability, but we're not mentally strong enough to go on a long winning run, says Dave. I would agree with that, to be honest. Russ says, anybody know where Ben Mee has gone from the match day squads? Just not favoured, I don't think, pal. Not favoured. Huge call. One player last night who peed me off was Hamer. Still got a soft touch for Cov, says Stick. Blades Ranger says, we matched them in all areas of the pitch. It's a shame a few defensive errors cost us. We've improved so much since the start of the season. I'm so proud of the lads for their efforts last night. Well said, mate. Well said. Raymondo says, happened to too many times this season. We seem to have a knack for shooting ourselves in the foot. In the football, it's gone now. Playoffs, too much to do. Mark says, evening, Jim. The nucleus of the team is good, but we need a leader or two. I think that's fair. Peck and Blaster will be those leaders in the future if they are still with the Blades. And thank you to Adam for becoming a member. Much appreciated, pal. Matlock Blade says, evening, Jimmy. For me, the playoffs became a distant dream after the Charlton and Southampton week. Just too much traffic in front, sadly. Shouldn't stop us pushing still, as the money will be vital up the Blades. Well said. Liam says, evening, pal. Don't know how we lost that last night. Was the best team throughout. Need to start taking our chances when on top. I thought both goals were soft. Is that the season done? I think so. 9 is a lot. Yeah, I would agree. Matt says, the two positives I can see are, 1, next season will be far more enjoyable than the Prem, and 2, we don't have to buy Samari. Don't get me wrong, he shows flashes, but a £10 million player, he is not. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles. Ian says, really angry with the ref last night. So many decisions went against us. I'm not trying to make excuses, but officials screwed us over, in my humble opinion. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Thank you, my mate. Justin says, completely agree, Jim, on recalibrating for next season. I've thought for a few weeks that we will run out of games. The playoffs going down to 8 next year gives us a massive chance up the Ramble. Big rumours going round from Paul the Cov fan that Burrows and Hamer wanted by Cov. Maybe just rumours, who knows? I think we would entertain those conversations, if I'm honest, as a club. Blunt Yorkshireman says, agree, Jimmy, I'm optimistic about next season, given that Wilder at the helm and the decent players we will have once a few have been sold to balance the books. Paul says, Jimmy, cannot agree with you when you say they deserve to win. We had the best of the first half with a possible penalty, scoring the second half, and they have 10. They're a lot more clinical. I don't think it necessarily is on time spent on top, although you might measure it like that, Paul. And it's absolutely fair enough if you do. I'm going to have to start winding it down soon because I'm on at 8 o'clock again, right here, with Bald and Brilliant Lee for Countdown to Kickoff. We're getting ready for QPR, but I'll get through as many as I can. David says, need to tie Peck down. He was outstanding last night. Still concerns over the 2 centre-halves. Playoffs is dead now, so let's plan for next season and tie the main group of players down. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles. Yeah, I thought Peck was outstanding last night as well, David. Promotion incoming next season, says Will the Plug Socket. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, like and subscribe. Free Shot says playoffs is still not over. Heaney says, fair summary as always, Jimmy. You are definitely a top 4 side. The start of the season killed you. I still think you could go on a run and make the top 6. Southampton and Wrexham are the problem. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Cooler King says, maybe this is a question for the end of the season rather than now. But I wonder how much Blades really want to be successful. A very good champ club, as you say, or a good Premier League one. If it increases your chances of success, is there an appetite for, say, changing the manager, changing the management structure, coaching setup, not focusing on Wilder type signings? I don't think this season has been spoiled by Wilder type signings. I think he has come in to do some firefighting and dragged us up the league, in all honesty. I think that would be an argument if we're in this position or even in 10th position this time next season. Cool King. CPTD says, for me, it's probably done. Playoffs, a vast number of teams in front of us. Not good enough this season. Inconsistent. Scotty says, evening, pal. Hope you're well. Yes, I am, mate. Thank you. Hope you are too. Another game we could get something from and didn't. Frustrating. Why has Cannon fallen so far out of favour? Should have thrown him on for the last 10. Note to lose. Up the Blades. Up all the Rambles. Jed says Tanganga should have the captaincy away from him. Interesting. He's a poor role model as he constantly gets into fisticuffs and in turn compromises the team. Eamon says they can't defend properly and went to sleep again. Up the Blades. Up all the Rambles. The defence coming in for some stick this evening. And that's people's opinion, isn't it? So maybe that's something we need to look at now. Dan says, Coventry, didn't deserve to win last night. In previous years, we lose that game, but we are more streetwise now. I would agree with that completely. In terms of, you found a way to win, didn't you? I think that game could have swung any which way, but you found a way to win, and we didn't. And I think that epitomises where both clubs are at the minute. I think Peck is the captain without the armband. To me, he's the one who drives the team, says Terence. Mr. V says, good evening, Jimmy. I'm not giving up on the season until it's mathematically impossible. There's more than enough talent in this squad to go on a long winning run, and other teams will have a wobble. There is definitely enough talent, Mr. V. Definitely enough talent, undoubtedly. Have we got the mentality to do it? And it doesn't necessarily need just that. It needs luck, and it needs a few other things to go our way as well, doesn't it? So you keep believing, pal. You keep believing. Not wrong with that. Hi, Jimmy. Hope you're well, says Chris Colchin. Yes, I am, my friend. Hope you are too. Gaz Dunn says, won't be on tonight, mate, as Steph will kill me. And then he came on. So thank you to Gaz for that. 5 more likes for 50, guys. Thank you, Paul, for jumping in and always being our like monitor, if you like. You were unlucky. If CW had never been sacked, you'd 100% be in the top 4. Keep going. Playoffs are still possible, says Rick. Up the Ramble, marching on together. Thank you, my mate. Hope you're good. Liam says, hey, Jim, I do agree it's over for us now. 9 points in 12, gap in 12 games. It's an uphill task, but do not see it as a bad thing. Actually give CW a summer this time, and I'm confident he takes us up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. Thank you, my mate. Who else has not had a comment read? Hi, Jimmy. Hope you're well again. I've consigned myself to another season in the Championship, says Chris. There's just too much going off above us and teams hitting form. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles. I agree, my mate. I think that's exactly where I am. Black says, I thought Hamer was better than Bamford. Or the Hamer to Bamford link up would be so good for you guys. It has been good, I have to say. It has been good. It don't work every single game. But it's been good for us. Binden, says Punk. I think it's is that for the captaincy question? Maybe. J619 says Dave Morwood, aka Peter Drury. Fantastic watch along last night with the man in black. The VAR of the EFL in Gaz and Dave Morwood did a sublime debut. Love to hear that. Love to hear that. Ben says the ref were their best player. Brand says Cooper has to be saving that first Coventry goal. It's gone right underneath him. I think it went through so many players, though. I think he's got to have been unsighted. Again, I've only seen it once. Binden was awful in the first half, says Punk. So that clearly wasn't the do you think should be captain question. Excuse me. Retro Shade says, yeah, that's us done. No way. We're making the top 6. Just half an eye on the time. I'm going to have to wrap up in a sec. I think the first penalty claim would have been given if the Cov player wasn't already on a yellow. Yeah, Wilder suggested that as well, Andrew Ante, that he thinks the ref bottled it and didn't give him a second yellow because it's a huge decision to make. Hi, Jimmy says, Rich, according to CW last night, CW last season's team would have beat Coventry. I agree with that. We were a different beast last year, and we would have beat Cov. In my opinion, we'll never know. It's all hypothetical. But what he's saying is they were mentally stronger and they were more together, and they got 92 points, which is quite a good measure of how well we worked as a team. Pablo says, my big worry is that we'll lose more than just a couple of our best players and we suffer another mid-table season. 40 plus years of being a Blade is my reason for being pessimistic. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles. Look, never argue with an experienced Blade because they have reason to be pessimistic. However, I don't think there'll be a big fire sale in the summer. I think we'll lose 3 maximum of players that we don't want to sell. And I think the money that will be generated through that, and also players that we want to sell and loans that will go back, will allow us a strong budget to be competitive in this league, and I would back Wilder to make us very competitive. I think playoffs will be the minimum expectation for Sheffield United next season. George says, I think that's playoffs done, but I have faith in Wilder and the board, despite last summer, to have another crack. What will be, will be. Absolutely right. Al Vectra says, Gus was in second gear last night. Tanganga was off it and back playing wing-to-wing passing. Game is no good. Up the Blades. Alessandro says, thought Coventry was so poor, especially compared to how Borough performed. Felt we were much the better side and should have been 2-0 up by half-time. Got with the lapses in concentration that cost us. I think you've been harsh on Cov there, to be honest. I thought they did all right. I know you probably expected them to be a little bit better or so much better than us, but they did it. They did what they needed to do, didn't they? That's all that matters. Smugglers says, as a Cov fan, I think how we've been playing recently has been brilliant. We give you the ball and defended most of the game. Same against Borough, but when we need to come forward, we will, and we will score. I don't think you can rely on just that all the way. But you know, who am I to question how you've been playing this season? I don't know if that's how you've been playing all season. You're saying just recently. I think you're good enough to come on to teams, aren't you? And have a go at teams. But maybe against the better teams, and I will include ourselves in that, us, Borough, Ipswich, maybe soaking up the pressure and then countering is very good in terms of how you approach those games. Thom says the Billy Sharp thing just came from Rich Hawk last night, asking Rosen about it in the fan zone. No more than that. Hope you're feeling a bit better, pal. Thank you, my mate. Glenn from the Sky Blue Hub says, I think Sheffield United are a good side, just paying the price for a poor start. I think that's fair, mate. Difference was Cov's strength in depth, having Sims and Thomas Asante, who scored 10 goals each this season, and other experienced players. Like the man Mountain was saying, a very deep bench of talent that you've got there, and that probably was a difference maker. Paul says, can somebody tell me why we didn't get 2 penalties? And weeks ago, we needed a centre half. I said weeks ago, we needed a centre half. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Scott says, don't know if you've been asked, have you heard anything on 4 emails from Company's House saying that Pejman, Terence Ahern, Joe Russo and Leonard Komorowski have been terminated as directors? No, I've heard nothing about that, pal. Romeo says, I say playoffs are off. Romeo done. I say go again next season. And James says it's okay being beating the bottom 6, but we have to look at taking points off the top 6. This was a problem last season as well. I think the game was done at 2-1 Coventry, closed up shop. Fair, very fair, my mate. Thank you again to we've gone well over time, but we had some great calls tonight. We've also got through, I think, at least one comment from everybody. So thank you to everybody that's got involved in the chat. This is not me done for the night, by the way. I am back at 8 o'clock in just 10 minutes' time with Bald and Brilliant. That's Ali. Because we are putting this game to bed. We're moving on and we're focusing on QPR. So join us for the countdown to kick off with QPR at 8 o'clock in 10 minutes' time. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards, you championship red and white wizards. Up the Blades.